All right, guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day on this Thursday. And we are about to jump in and dive into the Snyder Cut. The Zack Snyder Cut of Justice League is official. I know I'm probably like a day late or so, but I'm not breaking any news on this. I just want to give you my thoughts on the Snyder Cut. Now, I'm a huge Superman fan. Christopher Reeve is the best Superman of all time. And I believe that Henry Cavill does a very, very good job as Superman. And what we got in Justice League, the theatrical cut, was not the vision of Zack Snyder. And from what we know about that version of the movie, they only had about 10% of what Zack Snyder envisioned for the movie in the movie, even though I do believe that Zack Snyder was credited as the director of Justice League when essentially it wasn't even his movie. So now enter the Snyder Cut. I know the movement has been going on for years, and this just shows you the passion that fans actually have for these comic book characters. I grew up on Superman, love Batman. Wonder Woman's fantastic. Aquaman is great. I love it. And Justice League for me was a major, major disappointment. I walked out that movie. I was like, this is just not good at all. And I know my boy Fatal J is super happy. I texted him about, hey man, I know this is probably like Christmas for you with the Snyder Cut. And he said it is. So I'm so happy for everyone that has been pushing for the Snyder Cut, because this is actually something bigger than just getting the Snyder Cut. This is a win for fans. This is a win for the fandom menace. This somewhat leads me to some kind of hope for the future when it comes to movies. Now, Justice League, a lot of people didn't like it. But at that time, that was really before fans that didn't like movies were called racist and sexist. That pretty much started with The Last Jedi. And ever since then, if a movie comes out and it's bad, then it's the fans' fault. And I'm really surprised, though, that Warner Brothers is actually allowing the Snyder Cut to happen. So they're essentially admitting that Justice League, the theatrical cut, wasn't very good, because now they're going to spend $20 to $30 million more to give Zack Snyder his vision on HBO Max. Now, HBO Max comes out in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be $15 per month. But if you actually sign up right now, you get it for $11.99 a month. So just like The Mandalorian for Disney Plus, I do believe that the Snyder Cut is going to be like the flagship for HBO Plus, even though we won't be getting the Snyder Cut until 2021, somewhere around there, because they actually have to finish the visual effects to really bring it to life. I'm assuming that they're going to do more reshoots. And when Zack Snyder had his Man of Steel watch party, Henry Cavill showed up at the end. So I'm wondering now if Henry Cavill is officially back in the DC family as Superman once again. It could be. We heard rumors about him that Warner Brothers actually wants him to come back, and they should want him to come back. I mean, he's a really, really good Superman. Just give him a very, very good movie. Even though I'm someone that liked Man of Steel, but I know that movie was somewhat divisive, and I guess you somewhat have to go back to the drawing board without a complete reboot. But Henry Cavill's fantastic as Kal-El, aka Superman, to me. But I've always had a lot of respect for Zack Snyder. I love 300. I really do. I know that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers hates 300. But if you didn't like 300, if you don't like the Snyderverse when it comes to DC, Zack Snyder has never accused the fans of being toxic. He's never called the fans racist and sexist. And I'm not even saying that the Snyder Cut is going to be good. I'm really not. But I think it's clear that Zack Snyder is a stand-up guy. He's a really nice guy, and he respects the fans. So when this movie comes out, and it still could be a bad movie. I mean, people didn't like Batman versus Superman, even though the extended edition, people liked that. And I love the extended edition to that movie. But even if this movie, the Snyder Cut, is bad, I still think that Zack Snyder will still get a lot of comfort in that he was actually able to finish his vision. And I don't see him actually criticizing the fans. I just don't see him doing that. I don't expect him to do that. I mean, he took the backlash from Batman versus Superman. He took some criticism from Man of Steel, but he's never attacked the fans. And Warner Brothers is actually listening to the fans. The fans voiced their opinion, and the studio gave in to the fans. That is an absolute win for us. Now, could this have an influence on other movie franchises going forward, like Star Wars? I don't really know. Star Wars is in a completely different place, and it's a much bigger brand than the Snyderverse. But they have such a big agenda over there at Lucasfilm and such huge egos that I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is going to give in to the fans. They have a SJW mindset over there, and that's the problem. Zack Snyder doesn't have an SJW mindset. People just didn't like his vision, but nobody ever accused of the Snyderverse of being woke and promoting agendas. They just said, the movie's not that good. And I have to say that Justice League wasn't woke, no identity politics. It just wasn't a good movie. And I think we can officially say that it is absolutely not Zack Snyder's fault, because he was actually filming the movie, then he had a family death. I believe it was his daughter, and he had to walk away. But I'm so happy now he's able to come back and finish his vision for Justice League. Justice League for me was one of the most anticipated movies I've ever seen, or was waiting on, I should say. Because you get Batman, you get Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman all on screen together. I'm like, sign me up for that. That could have been cinematic history. That really should have been like Avengers Infinity War for the DC. Now, we're not actually going to get that. It's not coming out in the theater. So you're going to have to get HBO Max. And I do believe that this is going to be a huge selling point for HBO Max, just like The Mandalorian was for Disney Plus. Now, I hope that HBO Max is better than Disney Plus, because there's not a whole lot on Disney Plus once you get outside of The Mandalorian and you get outside of Clone Wars Season 7. Other than that, there's really nothing. We're still waiting on the MCU stuff, and I don't know when that's going to come and when that's going to happen. But what do you guys think of this? The Snyderverse, is it a win for the fans to get the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League? I absolutely do believe this is the fans. This proves that Hollywood can listen to the fans, and they can actually give us what we want. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.